saying if you're rich, the president was out to bash you tonight, but he was targeting much of the investment community. He was saying that the special treatment that many have gotten in the investment community, those days are over. So for those who are very successful in the business world, whether tied directly to the investment community or not, who better to talk about the success side of this story than Barry Sternlicht, of course, the Starwood Capital Group chairman, investor extraordinaire. Barry, from your point of view, I'm not even being political one way or the other, does targeting a group work? Does it make that group any more on your side, or does it just heighten the division?
Well, I think Obama's a fabulous speaker, and if you, as John Stossel said, if you don't pay attention to exactly what he's saying, you could get swayed with the naivety of many of the things he says. I mean, the nation's faced a multiple of crisis, and we're not as strong as we were. We'd like to tell everybody we were, but we're not. And he talked about trust, and I think the nation's businesses and investors are sitting on their cash because they don't trust this administration. I mean, companies are sitting on $2.9 trillion of cash, the most cash they've had in 50 years. Banks are sitting on $1 trillion of reserves because you keep hearing the administration talk about changing the rules of engagement by the evil banking empire, which of course finances the growth of our nation and the expansion of our businesses overseas. And he talks about companies moving jobs offshore. Well, in fact, many companies, including Starwood Hotels, which I founded and ran for 10 years, during the prior administrations, we were able to repatriate some of that cash and invest it here. Now that cash is trapped offshore because if companies bring it back, they're taxed at enormous rates of taxes. So they leave it offshore and they must reinvest it offshore.
So there's no reason for them to bring it back here.
You're penalized for bringing it back.
Right.
So, I mean, there's simple things that are just not true. And talking about the Middle Eastern politics, I mean, whether this was the Arab Spring or the Arab Winter, it's just not clear right now. But, we're hopeful that our values and I would say Egypt isn't exactly going the way we had planned. So, I think the core issues in the economy are really the deficit. And the problem is for every politician, it seems, they don't want to talk about it because somebody's going to lose. We all agree we should lower the deficit, but the details mean that somebody is going to lose out on some entitlement and some favor down the road. So, I mean, if you don't touch the entitlements, you're just not being honest with the American citizenship.
Well,
I think people are pissed off about it.
Right. Well, people, there was none of that tonight from the president, nothing to really seriously address entitlements. And I'm thinking about the double standard here where you can go into the financial industry or the investment class. Apple comes out with a great earnings report today. It's earning $1 billion a week. And the success of the company goes beyond the success of its individual products. But a lot of those products are made abroad, particularly in China. And I'm wondering the mixed messages that are being sent here.
Well, look, the American manufacturing base is responding to the fact that it is more productive, but also the weakness of the dollar. And if you lower our dollar, our manufacturing business will be more and more competitive. But on the scheme of things, I mean, we're never going to compete with Vietnamese labor and labor in Burma. So, I mean, and heavy manufacturing isn't the issue, and education clearly is the issue. I think many people, I started with nothing. And I've been quite successful. I worked hard. I went to school. I learned. My colleagues who work with me have done the same. And it's a great American dream. And we are philanthropic. I mean, if you tell people earning more than $1 million, they have no deductions. I sit on the board of one of the most important charities in New York, Robin Hood. And I don't know what happened to our philanthropy because we give out $140 million a year. And then this nation is the most philanthropic on earth by a billion miles. And Warren Buffett, I mean, please, I mean, he gave away $45 billion with a massive tax deduction for his friend at Microsoft, Bill Gates, to invest. So, I mean, the man compounded his net worth tax-free, and now he's, it's pretty amazing. And by the way, I think, like most people, I'm sort of independent. I just want somebody to tell us the truth and deal with the problems of the nation.
All right, Barry Sternlicht, thank you very, very much. Always good having you.